the first day in pads is really the first day you can really start firing off takes, right? If I wait until the first day these guys put on full equipment, then I think I can fire off some pretty irresponsible takes. Is that fair?
Yeah, and frankly, if the take's not irresponsible on July 27th, it really isn't even worth talking about.
Yeah. So here we go. I think Joshua Simmons is the real deal. It's That Football Show here on KC Sports Number. Tucker Franklin hanging out with Matt Verderame. Thank you to our partners, Ben Holiday, Bottled and Bond Bourbon. Always got it right beside me as we do the podcast, and Holiday Distillery. This is our NFL and Chiefs show here on KC Sports Network. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome in. And if you're coming back, appreciate you. Thank you for being a ball knower. Appreciate you for coming back. Matt, how you doing? How are things in your neck of the woods?
Well, I just got back from a 5-hour drive from the lake house, which is certainly nothing I would normally complain about. But I just spent the weekend with 6 kids, and there's not enough holiday bourbon on earth for 6 kids, including my oldest daughter, who treats bedtime like the Blair Witch Project. So it's a challenge. I'm glad to be back. My phone died on the ride home. I was like, oh my God. My only salvation was like just burying myself in my phone like a true millennial.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. But here I am, happy to be talking about the Chiefs' first day in pads, which you were at.
I was there. I was at the Chiefs' first practice in pads. Now, this year we're doing things a little bit differently at KC Sports Network. Obviously, Herbie, his last name's not credentialed. Herbie Teope is credentialed for us now there. So I'm not going up there every day. Herbie's going up there every day and on the beat for us at KC Sports Network. You can find all the press conferences that Herbie's recording there for us on our YouTube channel as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, go check those out. Go listen to those press conferences there. That's all. I think it's a cool thing we've added to the channel this year is the ability to have those press conferences on our channel. Nonetheless, first day of pads was on Sunday. And boy, howdy, Matt, I texted you. I said, I got some takes. I want to fire off first day in pads. And I think to be conservative, Matt, I think the first day in pads is really the first day you can really start firing off takes, right? Yeah. If I wait until the first day these guys put on full equipment, then I think I can fire off some pretty irresponsible takes. Is that fair?
Yeah, and frankly, if the take's not irresponsible on July 27th, it really isn't even worth talking about.
Yeah. So here we go. I think Joshua Simmons is the real fucking deal. I think that when I was at St. Joe, my purpose as I was there, I said, I got to get eyes on this guy. Matt, I'm from the show me state. You got to show me something, right? I know that a lot of people are going to be tuning into this podcast and they're going to see the title of this podcast and be like, hey, aren't these two jabronis that didn't really want the Chiefs to take Joshua Simmons? And that's us. Because the biggest hesitation was with his knee. I almost feel like every time we talk about Joshua Simmons, maybe we'll get to the point where we don't have to. We have to preface it was none of the selection of Joshua Simmons was about the talent. The talent was there. It was about the rehab of the knee, how healthy his knee was, and that's why he slid in the draft, right? He didn't slide because of talent at all. So when I got eyes on Joshua Simmons, I pulled into St. Joe and I'm thinking, okay, I got to see what this guy, like I got to see him with my own eyes. He's got to show me how he is. First off, he doesn't have anything on his knee, Matt. He doesn't have a brace. He hasn't had a sleeve. I find that crazy. He's 9 months post-op. October 2024 is when he had this surgery. He is 9 months post-op from a torn patellar injury, and he has nothing protecting his knee as they go into the first day of padded practices. And let me tell you, Matt, his feet as advertised, his strength as advertised. Just watching him do warm-up drills, individual drills, you clearly see that he moves different than a lot of the other tackles that they have in that room. That stood out to me. I mean, that's something that a lot of the stuff you can't teach some of that stuff. You can't teach the movement. You can't teach some of the strength and the power from the feet to the hips and how it all goes in there. Technically, he was very strong. There's some one-on-one reps that have been going around there. Look, he went up against Charles Minihue, looked very good. There's some times in team drills and 11 on 11, Matt, they're leaving him on an island. I mean, they're doing this as a rookie already. I was very impressed with what I saw from him and from the offensive line as a whole. Like, obviously, there's other offensive line things that we're going to talk about. But, I mean, first off, man, I think the Chiefs might have really got something there with Josh Simmons.
It's clear he's going to the Hall of Fame. All right, yeah. This is my irresponsible take. Look, no, I think we actually talked about it one of the shows this past week. It had to think when training camp started.
Right.
His feet, just the drills, were really moving. You're like, okay, that looks different than like when Wanya Morris was. And I'm not picking on Wanya Morris. It's just like there's a reason in the first round and Morris went in the third. Like the athleticism is just there in a way that even a guy like Donovan Smith, who had a nice career, but like never had foot speed that Simmons does. I mean, when Simmons moves laterally, I mean, he almost looks like a tight end, like with his feet. Yeah. I mean, he is firing out. And then, look, you were there. You saw a lot more than I did. I'll be there on August 6th. But, like, when you see some of the cut-ups of him, the one thing that impressed me beyond his footwork is his ability to anchor. Like, when he anchors, I've seen that now like 3 or 4 times, he's anchored. I mean, FAU had a rep against him that I saw on Twitter that was, I don't mean to be disrespectful to FAU, it was borderline hilarious. Like, he tried to bull rush Josh Simmons. Simmons didn't even move. Like, literally, physically did not take one step. I was like, that's all right now. Which, to be fair to FAU, I think his game is probably more trying to turn the corner than it is just trying to blow a 320-pound tackle. But this is the time to work on all these things. I think everybody felt the same way about Simmons' talent. It's obvious. His talent's clear. The question is, are you good with the maturity questions? Or, certainly the biggest one, are you good with the knee? And to this point, those things haven't surfaced. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm still worried about his patella. I mean, we're talking a quick return. Not saying it's not a thorough one, but a quick one. And he's a big guy. But youth is on his side, and modern medicine. And you're going to get he coming off a torn patella and me coming off a torn patella are 2 completely different things. Absolutely. So I respect that too. He's looked fantastic. I think really, if you're a Chiefs fan, of course you're watching this, probably are. Really, I think the biggest thing so far coming out of camp is like, now I know he got hurt a little bit today with the ankle, but like, Omar and Norman Lott has looked really good. Josh Simmons has looked really good. Jalen Royals has been pretty involved. Like, if you're the Chiefs, that's home run stuff. Like, if you get those guys, if Simmons and Norman Lott are day one starters, and especially if they're, especially in the case of Simmons, I guess, like plus starters, that's. If you don't get anything else out of the – that's fine. That's great. So, I mean, I think, listen, if you're the Chiefs, so far, you've got to be thrilled with the returns.
Yeah, you have to be. And I was – we were on a little bit of the cautious side when it comes to the knee and everything and the recovery process for Joshua Simmons. And still, I think you make a good point. It's still something to be cautious of when we're talking about this and to realize how – far removed he is from an injury. Now, I do know that there's a lot of there was a study out there, I think that we had talked about as well, that was about linemen coming back from torn patella injuries and the return to play rate not being as high. He's a lot younger than a lot of the subjects that they used in that study. So that also plays into it a little bit, his age. And he's massive. Like he's a good sized human being. I was also impressed. Sidebar, another human being that is massive is Essa Pohl. Essa Pohl makes so Cam Irving actually is one of those coaches, one of those coaching program. Basically, I don't know what they're calling it, but it's like a mentorship program, I guess, for these former players to get some coaching experience. Cam Irving is one of them, and he makes Cam Irving look tiny. And like Essa Pohl, very big guy, undrafted free agent this year. I believe out of Washington State, Essa Pohl was off the top of my head. But they got some big guys in that room. The offensive line, here's the thing, man, is it seems like it is the ones are nearly set as we're recording this podcast. On Sunday, the Chiefs did activate Jawan Taylor off of the pup list. They also activated Trey Watson off of the pup list. That means Christian Watson, not Christian Watson, Christian Fulton.
Correct.
Fulton.
Christian Fulton is coming off the knee, so he's still.
Who is Christian Watkins? Who did I just make up in my
Christian
head?
Watson is a Packers receiver who's hurt quite often.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Is a corner that's Chiefs signed, and he's coming off a little cleanup of the knee there in the springtime.
Oh, did you happen to catch the pressers when Andy Reid just kind of sprinkled that in there?
No, my phone died and I was at 6 children. All right. It was
oh yeah.
It was basically a scene out of Deliverance. So
he just like kind of sprinkled in. He's like, yeah, Fulton knee surgery, and everyone was just like, when did that happen?
Yeah, apparently in the spring. So listen, with Taylor coming back, and I'm sure they'll ease him in the coming days.
Right.
I would imagine he's going to take over the right tackle duties. That would be my assumption. Never know. Would be my assumption. I will tell you, it now is almost like going into camp. We all sat here. We all felt the same way. I was like, all right, what's going to happen at left tackle? Right? Mm-hmm. They signed Jalen Moore. They drafted Simmons. And, of course, when they drafted him, I think even people who wanted to draft him were like, all right, he's probably not going to start, right away, if at all this year because of the patella. Right. Now it's like, well, geez. I mean, it seems like as long as he's healthy, he's the left tackle.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's like he's going to be their left tackle as long as he's healthy. So then it begs the question of like, well, what's going to happen at right tackle? Because I think we all see Suamati as the left guard. Right, like unless something really
like yes.
Like he's the clear clubhouse favorite. I think it's fair to say that Taylor is the favorite at right tackle, but I also think it's fair to say that if he doesn't play well, or if there's some kind of a, let's say he pulls a hamstring, he's out a few weeks, and Moore comes in and plays well. The one thing that is very intriguing about this is the contract situation, which we've talked about. Like, I know technically he and Jalen Moore are signed for this year and next year.
Yeah.
Jawan Taylor is going to have to look like God at right tackle for them not to cut him. Like they're going to save $20 million to cut him.
Right.
So it really is like he's on a 1-year deal. And yeah, they could move off of Moore, but Moore, there's additional
it's
pain.
It's trickier. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as easy.
Mm-hmm.
And you just wonder, like, if they think Jalen Moore can play right tackle and be good at right tackle, does it behoove them to just say, look, like, let's put him there now?
Yeah.
Because, what you don't want to do is play Taylor, and he's, let's say, so-so all year long. And then you move on to Moore next year, and then Moore is, like, not what you thought. And now now it's 2 years of, like, right? Yeah. Like, right now, and you're not good about it. Whereas if Jalen Moore comes in and doesn't play well, all right, well, then you can just put Jawan Taylor in there. And then like, all right, neither one of these guys are the right tackle for 2026, and you move on. I just think it almost has made in 1 day of pads and a week leading up to it, it went from being like, yeah, left tackle, what's going to happen there? To like, okay, well, seen enough of him to know like he's probably the guy as long as he's good to go. What's happening at right tackle? So that now has almost shifted my focus.
100%. I do think a little bit more was made about Jalen Moore coming in and playing right tackle, and for some first team reps today during team on Sunday, first day of pads, because this is Jawan Taylor's first like acclimation type and period. They're not going to throw him in there and have him play every rep of right tackle number one.
Would be aggressive.
It would be really aggressive. So I think that's a part of it. Yeah, I think that's a part of it, right? Is like they're easing him in at the same time, but it doesn't help like the narrative in the conversation. I've already seen all over my timeline, man. We've got right tackle discourse. We are so back to football as we're having right tackle discourse on the timeline. But that's going to be an interesting one, and I do think that it really has shifted of like, oh, is it going to be Josh Simmons or Jalen Moore to, well, no, Josh Simmons is that guy. Let's go to the other side here with Jalen Moore. And I think it's interesting, too, that Jalen Moore, I only saw him on the right side, if I remember correctly. I don't think he ever flipped over. Wanya Morris, they were doing at left tackle, which we saw how that story ended. I don't know if they should do that, but they're playing Jalen Moore on the right side as like the second team as the number 2 right tackle, and Wanya as like the number 2 left tackle. Chu Godric also getting some run at right tackle as well, a little bit there too, because they have been, they were flip flopping with Moore and Taylor,
Right.
With the one, so then they had to bring in Chu Godric with the second team. I thought that was interesting, but Chu Godric's been there for like 3 years now, going on his third year, so like he knows the system a little bit better than probably some of the other tackles do. But other offensive lines, or not offensive line, but offensive storylines, Matt, is wide receiver conversation. There's a conversation to be had around how this team is using wide receivers. You mentioned Jalen Royals getting some run. Tyquan Thornton is getting some run with the ones. But when you see this, I do think, Matt, like there is a little bit of it is exciting to see Tyquan Thornton catch a deep ball in team install, right? Like that's pretty fun. Mahomes hitting him in stride. That's as close to crack cocaine as we can get as football fans, right? When we're in the dead of July, we need something, and the Tyquan Thornton deep ball, Patrick Mahomes letting it eat, is what you need. But I don't think people should buy into where these wide receivers are running out there. I don't think they should necessarily. I do think Mahomes reps do matter, right? Reps with Patrick Mahomes do matter, but I don't know if you should necessarily buy into it fully in the where they're putting these guys out there.
Listen, so here's the thing, right? Like, so we're sitting there talking about Josh Simmons, and we're already, both of us are like, all right, listen, we went from being wrong to like maybe he's Willie Rolfe. Yeah. That being said, Tyquan Thornton thing's a little bit different. All right. Yeah. Tyquan Thornton, let's take out Rice being suspended, assumingly being suspended here for a minute, okay? Because he's you would think, be there for the majority of the season. You've got Rice, you've got Worthy, you've got Hollywood Brown, you've got Royals. Remigio was talked about by Dave Tobe the other day, like he's Devin Hester. So you've got Remigio. They usually keep 6 receivers. They have kept 7. If they keep 6, and you assume those 5 guys are making the team, which I am going to assume that.
Yeah.
And 4 of them are locks. Like, take Remigio out, they're locks. Okay. Mm-hmm. Remigio, I think, is the 5th. Is Tyquan Thornton going to beat out Juju?
Probably not.
Probably not. Now, let's live in a world where they keep 7 guys. Okay. Like, maybe Tyquan Thornton makes the team. We're in a conversation, though, right now about whether Tyquan Thornton makes the team. Like, there is no realistic opportunity, in my opinion, where you're just like, yeah, Tyquan Thornton's getting run out there with Travis Kelce and Xavier Worthy. Like, I got to be honest, I'm pretty far away from that. Now, look, he has the rest of this summer. He's just tearing it up, and he's in preseason games with the ones, and he's killing it. Okay. Like, I'm never going to close the door on a guy. Like, he's only, he's like 24 years old. He was a top 50 pick. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say it's impossible. What I'm saying is, with Simmons, you always knew, like, if he's healthy, that guy's going to get every opportunity. He's a first-round pick, and the talent's undeniable.
Yeah.
With Tyquan Thornton, he's been beat up a lot early in his career. He's had a lot of injuries. The production when he's been healthy hasn't been that. Granted, I get it. He was on probably the worst offensive situation in the league the last 3 years. I understand it.
Had to play with Mac Jones.
Had to play with Mac Jones. And look, I like that they picked up Tyquan Thornton. Like, he's a high upside guy. Nothing wrong with that. My point would be, though, he's got a lot of guys to jump over.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, even if he plays awesome, if they've got Rice, Worthy, and Brown, is he going to be out there ahead of those guys? It's just, that's an ask. That's an ask. So that's all I'm saying.
It was interesting how they were playing him. He was the ISO receiver on some of the routes that they had out there on the single wide receiver side. I thought that was interesting how they're putting him out there, kind of outside towards the boundary, outside the numbers. But sometimes he's out of the slot too. He's running deep balls out of the slot. So they're using them all over the place. The same thing with like Royals. Like, yeah, it's nice to see like this guy get in here and get some run with Patrick Mahomes. I don't necessarily think that means he's going to be opening day starter, right? I don't think that means he's going to be out there when they take on the Chargers in Brazil. Well, in the first play of the game, but now starters don't necessarily matter. But it took, you guys know it. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're a Chiefs fan, you know it takes a while for rookie wide receivers to get acclimated to this offense. Look at Xavier Worthy last year. Look at Rashee Rice the year before. I mean, that's just what happens. Look at Tyreek Hill, yes.
Tyreek Hill is the first ballot Hall of Famer, and the Chiefs are like, I mean, he was a rookie in 2016, okay? Yeah. He played that year, to give context to this. He played, pull up a snapshot, 41% of the snaps. Now, if you want to go deeper than that, okay, so that year, let's see here. Let's go. They have game by game. Yeah, okay. Here's how his snap chart went: 14.1%, 10.9%, 19%, 24%, 28.1, 34.6, 28.4. And then in week 8,
yeah, he
got over 50% of the snaps, and he basically hovered around 50 to 60% most of the rest of the way. He was not heavily utilized the first half of the season. And even the second half of the season, there were a couple. He actually, believe it or not, as a rookie, had a 2-game stretch in December against the Titans and the Broncos. He was targeted 8 times, he had 0 catches.
Wow. A little Sky Moore action.
Was a little Sky Moore action. Here's another crazy statistic. Tyreek Hill averaged 9.7 yards per catch.
Huh.
That's like slot. Yeah, that's Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
Okay. Every other year of his career, 15.8, 17, 14.9. Like, they barely used him. They were very protective of him. And that was on a team that, mind you, can you name the 3 leading receivers on that team?
Well, I do have it up in front of me because I was going to name the other receivers on the team, so I cannot. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Jeremy Mack. So, by the way, Kelsey was 1, obviously.
Yes.
Tyreek Hill was 2 and played 41% of the snap. The next 3 guys were Jeremy Maclin, Chris Connolly, and Spencer Ware.
Yeah.
And they still were like, no, 41% of the snaps. So Jalen Royals could basically be Jerry Rice this summer. In maybe 50%. I mean, even the last 2 years when Rice was a rookie, their receivers were awful. And they barely got him going until week 10, week 11. Xavier Worthy, they're very protective of the way they used him early on. Very much design stuff for him. It's just the way, Andy, they're not going to go out all of a sudden and just, hey, Jalen Royals looks good and play him 80% of the snaps. It's not going to happen.
That's how it works. Other wide receivers on this team: Albert Wilson, Demarcus Robinson. Demetrius Harris was considered a wide receiver.
Demetrius Harris should barely be considered a tight end.
Yeah. Hey, Joey played basketball. Anyway.
Yeah, we all know.
Yeah. Last thing on the Chiefs camp front, Omar Norman Law getting some hype. We talked about that on the last podcast that we did. Nate Taylor really driving that hype train there, that what he's been seeing, what he's been hearing from Omar Norman Law.
Irresponsible.
Borderline. This is before pads came on. They have borderline irresponsible hype. But he did weird situation. So it happened during inside run, 9-on-7, that he looked like he got his ankle stepped on, tweaked his ankle a little bit, came limping off the field. Trainers checked him out. He went back in there, and then he left again, and then he came back again, and I guess was fine. So I don't know what's going on with Omar Norman. I think Andy said he was fine. So I think his limp was a touch dramatic, because when he was jogging, he'd be pretty severely limping. But then as soon as he got to the sideline, he'd walk just fine. I'm like, all right, this guy might just be playing it up a little bit.
But might need a few reps off first day in pads.
Yeah, that also could be. I think Chris Jones was feeling it a little bit first day in pads. There was a time, which another observation I had, there's a lot of procedural penalties on the Chiefs offense.
Good. Well, they're in midseason form.
They are in midseason
form.
Jawan
Taylor saw that and went running over and threw somebody off the field to make sure he got involved.
A lot of this going on.
Oh, Jawan was like, good.
Yeah.
Let me get involved. Take 3 of those.
For the audio.
Hell back.
For the audio only podcast listeners, that is the illegal motion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is the season. But yeah, it's that's always a good sign.
It was kind of like, truthfully, I'll be honest, it was kind of a sloppy practice all around. It's the first day in pads, right? So like, it was a little sloppy. Like they weren't really in sync, and it was a very much a meat and potatoes practice as well. Of like, we got pads on, okay, let's work on inside run. let's do that. So that's kind of what it was. It wasn't a sexy practice where they're throwing deep shots 45% of the time. They're running the football. They got to get their running backs warm, I guess. They got to get that. Actually, they might need to save some carries for that running back room because they might have a limited number. That running back room might have an expiration date, and it might be in October.
I look forward to having the conversation we've had year after year after year about these running backs. Like, who can break loose for 9 yards? Like, nobody. Okay, good. Listen, you know what, though? Here's the good side of this. They haven't had an explosive running back since Jamal Charles.
Yeah.
It's worked out okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, it's an underwhelming room on a team that I really do think that might be the big – like, if Simmons is really good, the weakness on this team is, like, Isaiah Pacheco, which if that's the case, you're probably pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, if you're sitting here going, man, I just wish Isaiah Pacheco was better. Like, that's the worst thing you've got going for you. Yeah. You know, like, you're probably all right. But, yeah, it's first day of practice in pads is always going to be a mess. It's just the way it is. I mean, I don't care. You're professional. You can be the best team in the world. You're knocking off a ton of rust. Like, you just are.
Mm-hmm.
And two, you're mixing in a lot of new guys, and it's new, you're in new groupings. I mean, you're just going to have that. You're going to have, oh, I thought that guy went in motion. No. When you're out here with this guy, he goes in. So I think if you're the Chiefs right now, here's the best part of training camp to this point. Knock on wood, it stays that way. No injuries.
Yeah.
That is the thing. Like, they get through camp, a couple young guys look good. They don't have big injuries. Whatever. The rest of it, fine. I don't care if Xavier Worthy has like 3 drops one day in a practice. It's fine.
Right.
Like, that's not the stuff that matters right now.
It's not. The stuff that matters is wildly overreacting to anything that you see online. That matters, and you should do that because 'tis the season. That's what we're in here. Matt, do you know that the next time we record a podcast, there will be technically a football game played?
That's not a game.
I know.
Look, every year, when I was a kid, and even like into my teens and early 20s, I'd be like, man, Hall of Fame game, baby. Love it. And then I'd watch like a drive.
Right.
Maybe 2. Like, oh, my God. There are people that gamble on that game?
Yeah, they need to call the hotline. I'm about to tell you about a number, and you need to call that number.
Immediate institutionalization. I took the under. Like, oh my God, are you serious?
Why? Yeah.
What are you? Do you just have that much money, or are you that down bad? Like, either way, we got to talk.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of time. I'm pulling up the Chargers depth chart right now to see who their quarterback's going to be because it's not obviously not going to be Justin Herbert, but like I don't know who their other quarterbacks are. Taylor Heineke, do you think they let him play in this game? Oh, they have Trey Lance.
Oh, Trey Lance getting a lot of run.
And DJU. Oh, dude, the DJU Trey Lance game is going to go insane.
My favorite part of the preseason is when you get some random, like, it's usually a quarterback. Every once in a while, it's a running back or receiver. Some guy nobody's ever heard of. And people are like, oh, my God, bro's tearing it up out there. It's like, well, yeah, because he's playing against, like, 4th stringers. Right. But the only guy I can remember off the top of my head, I'm sure there's a few, to be fair, that did that, and it actually became, like, a thing was Victor Cruz. Because part of that was I was in New York, so, like, you heard about it all the time. The other part of it was the Jets, I believe, were on Hard Knocks that year, and they played the Giants, as they always do in the old Snoopy Bowl. And Rex Ryan was like mic'd up for the thing, obviously being on Hard Knocks. He's like, who the fuck is that? Like, the guy is just torching the hell out of him the entire game. And the Giants, I remember, like, and the local media were like, this guy's unbelievable. And he actually became a thing.
Yeah.
But very often it's just, you get some guy who's like, JPA football is going to tweet out like, so-and-so is a problem. And it's like, yeah, no, actually he's not. But
I cannot wait for that. I can't wait for the Hendon Hooker pass that makes everybody lose their minds.
Oh, just some 60-yard dime, 8 feet out of bounds. And so if he had thrown that inbounds,
Did you see that Rodgers clip? That's Rodgers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And FanDuel's like breathlessly tweeting about it. Guys, come on. Do better than this. By the way, as a fun little thing. All right. So what of the 3 preseason games, did you agree that the second game is a game that is probably, if there's any that's somewhat instructive, like that's probably it?
Yeah. The last one doesn't mean anything.
Nobody plays anybody, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Fun exercise for everybody out there listening. Fun exercise. Who led the Chiefs in passing yards? First of all, who did they play in the second preseason game?
Last year is what you're saying?
Last year.
Saints?
They didn't play the Saints in the preseason last year. They played the Lions. Okay. They played the Detroit Lions.
Good. Mm-hmm.
And
off to a great start.
Okay. That was a game that Kelsey caught that behind the back pass from Mahomes.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. Mm-hmm.
So the leading passer in the game, Chris Oladokun.
Shout out, Chris.
6 of 7, 99 yards and a touchdown. Okay. Mahomes is a cool 8 of 14 for 93 yards. All right. So Chris Oladokun goes out there, throws for 99 yards. You want to take a shot at who the leading running back was?
Carson Steele?
No, he had 3 carries for 8 yards. It was Deneric Prince, 47 yards, had a 41-yarder in there. And then the leading receiver for the Chiefs that game, Cornell Powell.
Hey, DC Defenders legend. Led them to a title.
Listen, like, breathe when we start, like, oh my God, this guy. Okay, no. The 3 leading actually, I'll give you the 4 leading tacklers in the game. Christian Roman Wallace had 9. So, like, okay.
Swayze Bozeman got to be in there.
Who?
Swayze Bozeman?
Number 2.
Boom!
Cam Jones and Kelvin Joseph. Okay? Like, this is what we're doing. And then Keith Taylor Jr. had the lone pick.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Nobody did anything in that game that mattered in 2024. Like, nobody. Yeah. All right? Like, so just bear that in mind when some guy goes ham against Arizona and people are like, oh my God, get him on the roster. No, breathe. Please breathe. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Please do keep that in mind. All right. We got a couple headlines from around the NFL we want to talk about, but first we got to take a break. Hear a word from our sponsors, pay some bills. We'll be back right after this. Chiefs.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
Just a short drive from Kansas City. Experience the history, the heritage, and the bourbon at Holiday Distillery. Tour Missouri's oldest distillery, where real Missouri bourbon is made the old-fashioned way. Walk the grounds, taste the tradition, and take home a bottle of something special. Make the trip, sip the story. Holiday Distillery, Weston, Missouri. Book your tour at holidaydistillery.com.
I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network. Emprise Bank has been with us from the beginning. They were our first network partner, and they believed in the vision of what we were building from the start. I can't speak to any other banks or companies and how they operate, but I can tell you from personal experience and based on the growth of the network you're listening to right now, that if you have banking needs, call our friends at Emprise Bank. We've worked with so many great people there over the years, from Vicky and Aggie to Andrea, Lori, Jackie, Deb, and Aaron, and not to mention so many others that not just supported KC Sports Network, but supported our KCSN Foundation as well. But the best thing that I know is that if I have a question or a problem, no matter how dumb the question is, I know who I'm going to call and who I'm going to talk to. And I know that I'm getting an answer from someone that I can trust. And I know that person is there to help us. That's why Emprise Bank has always been and continues to be our partner in Possible. And they can be yours too. You just have to reach out. If you have a banking need, whether it's business or personal, hit me up. I will connect you directly with the same people that have helped us build KCSN. And that's our friends at Emprise Bank.
Folks, nothing beats hanging out with the boys on a hot summer day and watching some baseball. And the simplest way that you all can get in on the action is to download the Pick 6 app from DraftKings. It is crazy simple. Just pick more or less on the stats for 2 or more of your favorite players, and boom, you're in the mix for big cash prizes. And the best part is, Pick 6 is available right here in Missouri. Don't miss out on the fun. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6, and right now, new customers can get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Here's what you got to do. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and then use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Bonus picks expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Only got quick hitters today, Matt, on a fairly a light show, because we're changing our schedule around, so there's been less time since we recorded last. That's how kind of time works.
Time technically does seem to work. Yes,
I'm sure you guys know that if you are listening to this podcast by now. Nevertheless, we do have.
Not to interrupt you. Good job by you on your little. You've been doing a random Chiefs player. You count it down every day on Twitter. Warren Moon today.
It's a good one. People forget
Warren Moon.
People forget Warren Moon was a Kansas City Chief.
That's right. It's a good job by you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your flow. Go right ahead.
That's okay. I texted Matt Hamilton, friend of the program, friend of the network, Matt Hamilton, FanDuel TV. I texted him because they had Warren Moon on. They have him on Up and Adams kind of frequently, actually.
Yeah. Warren's a great guy.
Yeah, and he's one of like the few guys from like that generation that like actually pay attention to like what's actually happening and has like real takes and like he's like really knowledgeable about like what all's going on. So I think that's really refreshing to see a guy from that era do that. But I was texting him about because he was on the show, and I was like, people forget Warren Moon, man. And he was a Kansas City Chief, and the Chiefs did a really good job for a long time there, trying to do whatever they could not to draft a quarterback.
Yes. Oh, I mean,
whatever they could.
Craziest stat maybe in franchise history. Before Mahomes won that game in Denver in 2017, do you know the last Chiefs quarterback to win a game that they drafted?
Would it be Todd Blackledge?
It would be 30 years prior. They went 30 years without a quarterback they drafted winning a game for them. I don't know this to be true. That has to be a record.
Yeah, there's no way it's not.
That there's no way any of the franchises. I know there are a couple franchises probably getting run for their money, just like thinking about it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But man, that's almost, and like to their, I guess, credit, they were good for a lot of those 30 years. Like somehow weren't just were legitimately like pretty good for about 20 of them. So kudos to them. But yeah, they were just all they did was bring in ex-49ers quarterbacks. It was like Steve DeBerg, bring him in, awesome. Joe Montana, legitimately awesome. Steve Bono, great. Elvis Gerbach, fantastic. Bring them all in. And then Alex Smith later on, of course, bring him. Like they were like, did he play for the Niners? No, then please. Like, we can't be bothered with that guy. So yeah, 30 years. Craziest stat in the history of the team.
They trusted the Niners, basically scouting department, more than they trusted their own scouting department.
I think they're probably right to do that based on the rest of what's happened over those 30 years.
That is fair. I always say when that stat comes up about, the Elway to Marino, that draft there. It always comes up. Look, if the Chiefs were trying to draft college football announcers, they picked a pretty damn good one. So I mean, if that was the goal, they would have crushed it.
That draft got Otis Taylor to quit. Otis Taylor was a scout for the Chiefs. He's like, if you don't take Marino, I'm going to quit. And they didn't, and he quit. Walked right out there and draft. It's just like, I'm done with this.
I appreciate the principle, the doing something on principle. Very big fan of.
He just was like, if you can't see this, I don't know like what we're even doing here. And they were like, no, we're going to take Todd Blackledge. It's like, okay, fine.
Todd Blackledge, great guy from all I know, but
might be a wonderful guy. Not a wonderful quarterback. Not a wonderful quarterback.
But might be hard to do. Better guy than quarterback.
Yeah. Quick hitters.
Yeah. At long last, the stalemate between the Cincinnati Bengals and their first-round pick has come to an end. The Bengals and Shemar Stewart agreed to terms on the defensive end's fully guaranteed 4-year rookie contract. Pelissero tweeted this out and reported it on Friday. There were a little bit of concessions made from both sides. The NFL, or Ian Rappaport tweeted that Stewart agreed to the team's new contract language, while Cincinnati agreed to move up $500,000 of Stewart's signing bonus to be paid now rather than in December.
I guess my question is it officially official or no?
Well, yeah, because he fucking tweeted out that it was officially official. I've had to see this motherfucker tweet this out so many times since anything happened, but it is unfortunately officially official.
Just wanted to check. Good. Yeah, listen, I mean, nice job of the Bengals to finally get him in before Thanksgiving. So really a bang up job. Oh, like, what do you think? Should we get him signed before the new year? Yeah, well, why not? Let's give that a shot. Okay. So he's in now. Trey Hendrickson, for all I know, is posting Instagram pictures from Zimbabwe.
Let's go see.
Yeah, don't know where he is. He's not in Cincinnati. No. So if Shemar Stewart's now in town, that's good. I'm going to be in Cincinnati on Wednesday, so I'll get a good look at Shemar Stewart, one would assume. Be in Indy on Tuesday. Going to get a look at the best quarterback battle the NFL has to offer. So, yeah, let's go. Yeah. Let's get that rolling. Can't wait to talk to a couple guys about that. But in any event, yeah, I mean, look, the Bengals, good on them, finally getting it done. Pretty much a full training camp. Obviously, no OTAs, no mini camp. I'm just going to be, though, like, I'm going to take the snark out and just be really honest. Unless Shemar Stewart is unbelievable,
right?
The defense is going to be awful anyway. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not like I'm looking at him going, man, like he's the linchpin. You know what I mean? Like, if let's say he's good for a rookie, let's say he's legitimately good at 6 sacks. For a rookie's good. It's a good season. Who cares? They're atrocious around the guy. Like, I really like I'm not even going to watch them play offense when I go to camp. I'm just going to watch the defense and try to discern, am I missing anything here? Is there anybody on that defense that I'm like, all right, you know what? Like that guy's going to give him a little bit more juice, or that, you know, like a Chris Jenkins Jr. or Cam Taylor Britt or somebody like that. Like, because if the answer to that question is no, I really think the Bengals are going to have to score like 33 points a game to make the playoffs. Like, I really do. I will be very, very interested to see how that plays out with them.
To be 2018 Chiefs level.
Yes, like but like even the 2018 Chiefs, as bad as they were defensively, they led the league in sacks.
Yeah, that's true.
They at least could do that. They were like, all right, we got Justin Houston. That was a 1-year D forward, was really good. They had Chris Jones. Like that at least was the one thing. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
We can at least do that. You know, like the Bengals. If you have Hendrickson, assuming they have Hendrickson, but man, after that, it's like don't you just slide the protection? Go, all right, he can't destroy the game.
Yeah. Well,
he'll beat us. Like, I don't know.
That's what I'm looking at here. Cause I went to go pull up their depth chart on our lads just to kind of see, you know, they have Joseph Osai, and I mean, they've got Shemar Stewart. But right now on our lads, they don't have Trey Hendrickson on there because he's on the did not report list, right? They had to place him on the did not report list. So, I mean, you're looking at Miles Murphy, TJ Slayton, BJ Hill, maybe a Chris Jenkins or something, or a McKinley Jackson. None of those guys. Oh, Cam Sample. None of those guys are like, oh, we have to focus on this guy. They're not game wreckers. So it's like who, how I think that Shamar Stewart's best path of like getting production would have been like, for lack of a better term, like the George Karlaftis route, right? Like where you've got to pay attention to Chris Jones, so then George Karlaftis has the opportunity to kind of swoop in and clean some stuff up. That's probably how Shamar Stewart could have got the most production. But without like Trey Hendrickson to take any attention away, he then becomes the full attention, and I don't think that it's going to be very good.
I mean, he had 4.5 sacks in 3 years at Texas A&M.
Right, and he was the full attention. They had full attention.
Well, hell, I would argue no. I mean, they had Nick Scoury.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's not good. Yeah,
and he still couldn't do anything. So, listen, I'm not saying maybe he'll be very good at the next level, but he was a guy that a lot of people were like, listen, he's he's kind of a projection of a pick, and sometimes those guys work out great. Sometimes they don't, and that's fine. But yeah, I just look at the Bengals, dude, and I sit there and say, I don't know how they stop anybody. Yeah. I really have legitimate questions about if there aren't some diamonds in the rough there, like, good luck. I don't know.
Yeah. That is a tough one. Let's keep it in the AFC North. Let's keep it there. Because I saw a headline as I was preparing for the show that I said, well, we're going to need to talk about this. It was Browns GM Andrew Berry. He says that he leaves the door open to keep all 4 quarterbacks entering the 2025 season.
Yeah, that's nice.
That is definitely a choice for a team that does have 4 quarterbacks. That is technically true. They have 4 quarterbacks. Do they have 4 good quarterbacks? No. They've got Joe Flacco. They've got Kenny Pickett. They've got Dylan Gabriel, and they have Shedeur Sanders. Here's his quote. Let me read you his quote. We've largely looked at the last 5 spots of a roster as more as developmental spots, and that could come from any position. I also think with the roster flexibility nowadays, especially with the elevations that you're able to have on the practice squad, there's just more flexibility in terms of how you build your 48-man game day roster, where it's maybe not as quite as restrictive as in the past. If there are 4 that are 53-man worthy and we think it makes the most sense for us to, then we will do it.
Okay. Not to just pile on the Browns, which has been pretty easy for 30 years now.
Never, yeah.
Joe Flacco is going to be the quarterback. Yeah. Like, let's just skip all this crap. Like, Joe Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback. All right. He knows Stefanski's offense. They have a relationship. They went to the playoffs with him. And it's a hell of a lot easier to bench Flacco and go to one of these young kids than it is the opposite way. Right? Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback. Here's my question with this. You're not cutting one of those 2 rookies. You're not. Gabriel is a 3rd-round pick. You're not cutting that guy. If you do, then everybody in the scouting department who was involved in that pick should be fired. You're not cutting Shedeur Sanders. You're not. He's a rookie quarterback. He was successful at Colorado. Like, you're not cutting that guy. So here's the part of this I just don't get. And I'm not saying Andrew Berry was going to come out and say this. Like, of course he wasn't going to. You're cutting Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
What is Kenny Pickett's value? If they didn't have Flacco, I'd say, all right, yeah, they're just going to start Kenny Pickett, right? Like, they'll start Kenny Pickett. They'll go 8 games in. He'll go 1-7, and then they'll play. What are you going to do? Bench Flacco to go to Kenny Pickett?
Right, yeah.
Like, you're not going to do that. That's dumb. So I don't understand the whole game here. Then just trade or cut Pickett and be done with it. Like, that is one thing I don't understand. And teams have done this first, not just the Browns. Why waste reps with Kenny Pickett in practice? For what reason? Like, give those reps to Gabriel and Sanders. That guy's never playing for you. He's not the future. He's not the present. He's not good. Like, just move on. I never understand when teams do that crap. Like, just accept reality. That guy's never, it's like if the Chiefs, when Mahomes, now, of course, you know Mahomes would be this good, but like when Mahomes was a rookie if they'd been like, listen, got to get Chase Daniel in here and get him a bunch of reps.
Yeah.
Let Mahomes be like, why? What, he's not the future. Like, what is the point? So to me, I will be very surprised, barring an injury or something like that, if Kenny Pickett's on that roster September 1st. Makes no sense.
He seems like a perfect practice squad quarterback candidate.
Dude, honestly, to be fair to Kenny Pickett, he's a good candidate to be like a backup for New Orleans.
Yeah.
Just a starter for New Orleans. Like, I don't know. Like, he's like, to me, he's a marginal backup quarterback, but in Cleveland, he makes no sense.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to have him. I'll tell you, I'll go one further. Who the hell's the backup for Baltimore? Who's the backup for Buffalo?
I don't know.
Like, he's probably an upgrade over I don't know off the top of my head either. Is Huntley still in? No, he's not.
No, he was like in Miami last.
Yeah. So
I'll look real quick. I've got the Our-Lads page open. Who do you want first? Buffalo or Baltimore?
Yeah, I'll pull up Buffalo. You think Baltimore? Who the hell's the backup for Baltimore?
I'm trying to think. They had some like random backup quarterback. Gosh, Our-Lads moves so slow.
Okay, well, Buffalo's is Trubisky.
It's Cooper Rush.
Who is he?
Cooper Rush.
Oh my God! See, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
And Devin Leary. Oh my gosh.
Houston has Davis Mills.
He's still around?
Oh, he's still around.
Remember when people tried to convince themselves that Davis Mills was going to be the Texans quarterback and they shouldn't take CJ Stroud?
Even Denver, behind Bo Nix is Jared Stidham. What
are we doing?
Tell me that those guys are better. And I'm not by no means my singing, a love song to Kenny Pickett here, but
shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of these teams. I'll give you another one. Miami, who, let's be honest, God bless him. I hope he plays 70 games this year, but Tua's hurt all the damn time. You know who their backup is right now?
I could not tell you.
Zach Wilson.
Oh no!
Bro, come on! So Kenny Pickett could be a backup in the NFL even for a good team, but for that team, he makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. You have other backups, so I don't know. I just don't get it.
Speaking of making no sense, I just pulled up the Saints Our-Lads page. They have 8 tight ends. They have 8 tight ends and 4 of the most mediocre quarterbacks that you have ever heard of, which brings us to our next story. Kellen Moore says that Jake Haener is getting a real shot at the quarterback, 3-man race at quarterback. He says, quote, we feel good about letting all of these guys go for it. He's shuffled between rookie Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler, and now Jake Haener. And also on their roster, they do have a 4th quarterback on the roster. So I feel bad for old Hunter Deckers. By the way,
he's not getting a look.
He got popped for the gambling at Iowa State, had to play at Iowa Western Community College, and then the NCAA wouldn't let him back in after they dropped the case against him. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I still can't even function. The tight end thing has sent me into another, and Jawan Johnson's good. He's a good tight end. Now, Foster Moreau, I know he's on the injured list. Then Taysom Hill, who's also a quarterback.
Technically, yes. I guess they do have him listed at tight end.
Is on the injured list. And then they've got a 7th-round pick on there. Seth Green, Jack Stoll, both of which brought in through free agency. Michael Jacobson and Trenton Welch. Just a staggering group of I picture them in the room, getting down to the 53, be like, oh, we're going to cut. I can't believe 6 of these guys. Wow. I mean,
it is jarring when I opened it up and I was like, how many lines of tight ends do they have? They also have 7 running backs.
They have 7 running backs. They have 11 receivers, and one of them's named Moochie. And I'm rooting for Moochie to make the team. I'm rooting for Moochie. Dude, there was a guy named Moochie on the Knicks when I was a kid who was atrocious. And my dad and I would just laugh our asses off every time they brought him into the game. Like
SMU guy.
Yeah. I'm saying Moochie Norris for the Knicks. Played 10 years. Was on the Knicks from 03 to 05. Was awful. Like one of the worst players you've ever seen in your life, man. And but it just every time they brought him in, we would just laugh our asses off. Like this team's pathetic.
Right.
I'm hoping this Moochie, has a better career out of him. Although if he plays 10 years, he's probably pretty damn happy about it.
True.
Fair is fair. But in any event, the Saints do. That's nice for Jake Haener. I'm going to go ahead and guess the Saints aren't going to feel good about any of their quarterbacks by about Halloween.
Yeah, all their quarterbacks. Here's a secret that they don't want you to know. All their quarterbacks suck.
It's not good. Okay? I mean, it is. I have a lot of I did all the NFC scouting report stuff for SI this year. So one of the jobs was to talk to a source for every one of these teams. And I asked one of my sources who happened to be in a front office about Tyler Shuck. And he brought up a really interesting point that I think might be tested this year. He said, let me ask you something. He goes, I don't know how good of a player he's going to be. But he said he played at Oregon, played at Texas Tech, played at Louisville. By the way, I was in college for 7 years. Make that point.
Yeah, I think he's like my age.
Yeah, he might be my age, but he was like, listen, he's like, why did that guy have to keep transferring? Like, could he just not handle it when it got tough? Because he's playing on New Orleans. It's going to get tough, and you're not transferring. And I was like, you know what? That's a damn good point. And I am very curious to see how it plays out. You know, didn't transfer Jake Haener. That's who.
Okay, Jake Haener.
I had no idea if that's even true or not.
We can just say whatever we want. This is a podcast.
Oh, no, he transferred.
But you know who didn't transfer? Spencer rather did transfer. You know who didn't transfer? Hunter Deckers. He was forcibly removed from his position.
The Saints has got a bunch of guys in the room like, hey, you transfer? Yeah? All right, get in here and grab a ball.
That would be. I wonder how many teams have a quarterback that transferred on their team. Because technically Josh Allen transferred, just like the Bills do.
Where was he before Wyoming?
He went to a community college.
Oh, that's right.
He played community college ball out in California.
True.
Did Tua transfer? Damn it, I don't think Tua transferred. I think he stayed in Alabama the whole time.
Yeah, he was at Alabama the whole time.
All
right, well, before we lose all the listeners here, Minshew, he transferred East Carolina,
to
Washington State. So but then, you know who didn't transfer? Mahomes. That's who.
That man is loyal. That's why he's the best quarterback in the National Football League, because he didn't transfer.
That's right. He stepped up.
He did.
He didn't step up when Kingsbury was giving up 70 a game.
He could have left easily.
He should have left.
Should have.
But in any event. So, all right. What's next on the docket?
Speaking of leaving, Joe Mixon is expected to miss some time, possibly week 1 as well with Joe Mixon. The Texans are a weird team, man. Just the way that they've been constructed this offseason, the way they've approached it this offseason, I don't necessarily understand what they're doing. He's on the team's non-football injury list. He's expected to be out for an extended period of time with a foot injury. Ian Rappaport reported that earlier this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, look, the bottom line is with Mixon, he's in that range of like hitting 30, right? And you start once you get in that age bracket, so to speak, and you're a running back, things start going downhill. I mean, he just turned 29 3 days ago, so we're getting into that. Happy birthday, right on the edge. Last year he played 14 games. If memory serves, didn't he have an ankle injury? Cost him almost a month.
I think so, yeah.
And now it's like this is like a foot injury, I believe it's being termed.
Mm-hmm.
Look, this is why they signed Nick Chubb. Now, Nick Chubb also, there's a lot of questions there. So, I got to tell you, a year ago at this time, I looked at the Texans and really felt like they might be the Chiefs' biggest threat in the AFC because The Bills are kind of in a little bit of a transition mode with the roster. Got rid of a lot of older players. Baltimore, you knew was there, but it's kind of the same old story with the Ravens. Like in the playoffs, what do you got? And then you had Houston, where Stroud had this great rookie year, and you're watching, and you're like, all right, man, like they've got all these weapons. They look really good defensively. You like what D'Amico Ryans is doing. And now you look at them, you're like, you got Nico Collins and who on offense?
Right.
You can't block. I still like Ryans. I still like the defense. But you look at them and you're like, all right, yeah, you're good enough. I expect you to be a playoff team. But nobody thinks you're as good as Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City.
Right.
And that to me is a pretty big step back from where they were a year ago. We were like, hey, they're a real threat. Like, they're up and coming. And now you look at them, like, are they?
Right.
I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, Mixon being out, look, do I think it changes the entire tenor of the season? No. At the same point, if you're sitting here looking at Houston, like their schedule out of the gate is not easy. They start at the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
They come home on a Monday night. They play the Bucs. They go to Jacksonville for a divisional game. They come home and play the Titans. You should win that game. Then you're at Baltimore. I mean, he's out 5 weeks. No, I'm not saying he's making it or breaking it for him. But he's out 5 weeks. Rams game, Baltimore game. I think with him, they're losing those 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to tell you, man, I don't know you. I think Tampa Bay's better than him. So
I like Tampa Bay a lot. I do.
I do too. So like you start looking at that going, they could easily be 2-3 going to their week 6 bye, and then they come out of that bye week, and it's still not at Seattle, San Francisco at home, Denver at home. And then down the stretch, they have a stretch where they go Buffalo, at Indy, at Kansas City. Like it's, look, it's for being in that division, which is a bad division. You think like, oh, their schedule's easy. Their schedule's not that easy. Their schedule's, I could easily see them doing like a 9-8 number, something like that.
Well, here's what happened too with the Texans. I think people kind of figured out Slovic and his scheme that they had there with CJ Stroud once they had more tape on him. I think that they had to actually play a difficult schedule when they had that really good year. They're playing a last place schedule, if I remember correctly. So then they actually had to play real football teams, and then things just caught up to them. Now they have a new offensive coordinator this year. They got a new offensive line coach this year too, as well, as what I think. But it'll be interesting to see. The defense was never the problem for them, right? Like they were always pretty good defensively, and I do like the direction that they're going with D'Amico Ryans and everything. I think that's perfect. But yeah, they'll be an interesting team to watch for sure. Last couple here. Terry McLaurin did report to training camp without a new deal, but he was placed on the PUP list. This is believed to be a hold-in. They're calling it an ankle injury for Terry McLaurin. The team did announce that. So he did report not practicing. I don't know if that means there's any momentum towards a new deal for Terry McLaurin, but at least that's good news for the Commanders right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's good he's in the building, right? But I mean, the Commanders, we've talked about this. I'll keep this one short and sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't get this.
No.
I understand he's like at that age 30 range too. He's another one of those guys like right in that range. He's been healthy as can be. He's been unbelievably consistent and productive. And he's done it with nobody on the other side. It's not like he's got, it's not like he's got Randy Moss over there pulling coverage. Okay. He doesn't even have Santana Moss over there pulling coverage.
Shout out.
He's got nobody. So, and who are they paying? They're not, we went over this too. Like Deron Payne is like, I don't understand. You can't give him 3 and 110. You just can't get that done. To me, that's just bad business. If that guy get it done, and I'm sure they will get it done. But yeah, to me, that's bad business on their part. Get that guy in camp, get it going.
Yeah, take care of the guys that got you there. You gotta feed the horses that got you there, and that's one of the guys.
Years they sucked, man.
Yep.
Come on. I mean that's like if the Chiefs in 2018 were like, we're not going to pay going forward, Kelsey.
Right. Yeah.
Like we're good. Like we're just not going to invest in that guy going forward. Like, come on. But who, by the way, in 2018 was about the age McLaurin is now. Like,
damn.
Yeah. Can you imagine if the Chiefs just be like, that's all right? I mean, come on. Are you kidding?
He'll play for the Falcons.
You pay that guy.
Yeah.
Pay that guy. Come on now.
We have two more things to talk about, but I want to do a little peek behind the curtain here. You and I talked about this. I've been working on a kind of a video SM, and I'll get out on the YouTube channel probably closer to the trade deadline with the modern trade history of the Kansas City Chiefs. You and I kind of talked about it a little bit. I started with it. I guess let me know in the comment section if you guys would want to hear that, because I've started writing the video and everything, but it's just like I didn't realize how much of a beast like that would be to like actually break everything down, because I was like, all right, well, I'll start at 2010, right? I'll start at 2010, nice clean, I can do the 2010s. And I was like, started looking at like that 2010 team, and I was like, well, I mean, their leading passer was Matt Castle, who they acquired in a trade the year before, and then their leading rusher was Jamal Charles, who they acquired technically in the Jared Allen trade. It's like I got to go back to those trades and kind of explain what happened to there, and then I got to kind of explain Herm Edwards' whole tumultuous tenure as the Kansas City Chiefs head coach, and then how it kind of changed at Carl Peterson resigning before the season got done, and them then getting Scott Pioli, and Scott Pioli's first order of business was to bring all his buddies over. Like, I kind of have to explain all of that leading up into the 2010 season. So then basically I've gotten rid of all the context going into the 2010 season of where they're like, oh, we won the division for the first time since like 03. And then kind of how it all goes from there. That's what I'm starting on. But it's fun to look back and see kind of how the team was like built from like the trade part of it, because like the Jared Allen trade too, I don't think a lot of people think about that. Like that brought Jamal Charles to Kansas City. I think that's a really interesting one.
Yeah, listen, that Jared Allen trade really worked out for both sides.
Yeah, it did. 100%.
An amazing player in Minnesota, and yet the Chiefs ended up taking like Brandon Albert and Charles.
Yes, I got Brandon Albert in that. Mm-hmm.
That class, by the way, was one of the better classes they've ever had in recent memory. They had Albert, Carr, Flowers, Dorsey, and Charles in that class. Yeah, that's right.
That'll hunt. That dog will hunt. All right, last couple here. Jake Ferguson and the Dallas Cowboys agreed to a 4-year contract extension worth up to $52 million in new money, with $30 million total in guarantees. Yes. Ferguson is 26. He had 59 receptions for 494 yards last season. Matt, they probably don't have anybody else to pay, right? If they're paying Jake Ferguson, right? They probably don't have any other contracts to do.
No, the other ones were really well done. So that's good.
Yeah.
If I was Micah Parsons, I think I'd actually start picketing outside the building. Like, Jake Ferguson got 4 years, $52 million. I mean,
yeah.
I don't want to be a jerk about this, but I also try to keep it real. Jake Ferguson, like, if I asked you to rank the tight ends in the NFL, how long would it take you to get to Jake Ferguson?
It'd take me a long time.
A little while, right? I mean, you're sitting there, and just off the dome, even at his age, you're taking Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
You're certainly taking Trey McBride.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You are, I'm going through the guys in the NFC South. I don't know if you take Kyle Pitts, quite honestly.
Well, it turns out he's having a great camp. Taylor's oldest time.
And thank God for that. I'll tell you right now.
7 breakout.
I mean, yeah, that's right. I'm taking Juwan Johnson, who's beating out 7 other guys at camp in New Orleans. Okay, I'm taking him. You're damn right. I'm taking
the whole New Orleans room.
We're running power. I mean, I'm taking Laporta. I'm taking Kraft. Both of them. Right. I mean, I'm taking Hawkinson.
Yeah. I'd take the whole in NFC North, right?
Who would you take, Kmet?
Yeah, I think I'd take Kmet over him.
Probably would too. Right. Okay, so that's 7. Would you take Goddard?
Probably.
Like, Jake Ferguson's not even one of the best, like, top. He's not even the top half of tight ends in the NFC. We didn't have to get to the AFC with his Bowers and Kelsey and Likely and Andrews and Njoku and Freiermuth. I'd take all those guys ahead. Like,
yeah.
Again, like, Ferguson last year played in 14 games, had 15. He had 494 yards on 86 targets.
Yeah.
Like,
52 million.
No touchdowns. Like,
really?
No touchdowns. Like, and I get it. The year prior was a Pro Bowl at 761 yards. Like, man, I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and like go out of my mind. I guess I have to give him $30 million a year, but that's when you're trying to get Parsons done. Seems like Jake Ferguson could have just waited on the back burner a little bit. That's just me.
I think that's just like malpractice.
Like
It's bad.
Like was the market overwhelming for Jake Ferguson?
The tight end market about to boom, you know.
The Saints were like, boy, don't let him get out in the free agent market.
So
we got room.
I'm trying to corroborate this with like other things, you know, what we're talking about, obviously how we feel about tight ends. And, you know, Jeremy Fowler does his stories about like what front offices feel about tight ends. Jake Ferguson was on the honorable mention side of things from an NFL coordinator, excellent blocker and receiver, needs to get Dak back in the worst way. So he's an honorable mention there. PFF has him at 17, and I think that is way aggressive on Jake Ferguson. Better than Tucker Kraft, better than Kyle Pitts. Oh, Cade Otton. Did we talk about Cade Otton?
I thought about Otton. I thought he was like borderline. But yeah,
I think I'd take him. You have him ahead of Freiermuth?
Yeah, I would say Freiermuth. But yeah, the point being, it's not like he's even arguably in the top 10.
He's like a worse Noah Gray.
That's accurate.
And he's making more money than Noah Gray, I assume, right? I don't remember Noah Gray's deal off the top of my head.
3 and 18.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean that's certainly a choice for the Dallas Cowboys.
It is
as they continue to just shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they're the Cowboys.
Lack of the better term. All right, last one here. Rashawn Slater and the Chargers agreed to a 4-year, $114 million extension that will make Slater the highest paid offensive tackle on an annual average or an average annual basis. That is per Mike Garafolo, Ian Rapport, and Tom Pelissero. They all teamed up to get that.
Everybody apparently got the group text simultaneously.
They got that one together. Good for them. The team has also made that one officially official as well. Good to know.
Thank God. All right.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, this one, I'm not going to get the Chargers. Just, listen, you got to sign this guy.
You got to do that. Yeah, this is like a no-brainer.
He was a terrific player. I mean, the only question with Slater is just staying healthy.
Yep.
That's it. And even that, like, he's been mostly healthy. He had 1 year he got hurt. I think he tore his pec, if I remember right. He was out for a year. But no, listen, I mean, he's a terrific player. I have no issue. I mean, if you're the Chargers, that's the kind of guy you spend the money on. So this is not Jake Ferguson where we're like, is he one of the 30 best players at this position? This is an easy one. This is an easy one. Go to the Chargers, getting him locked down. No brainer.
Speaking of Kyle Pitts, we talked about him earlier. Kyle Pitts said he's, quote, healthy as he's ever been after missing all of the club's offseason program and minicamp due to an undisclosed injury.
Congrats.
Yeah, good for. I mean, look, I'm telling you, he's not year 7, but like year 7 breakout for him. He's on this Sky Moore trajectory path.
If he just gets one more opportunity,
that's all he needs.
That's all
he needs.
You're right there. Yeah, it's great.
Minka Fitzpatrick also agreed to a revised contract. You guys don't really care about that. I mean, he's just getting more money earlier, is all it is. So shout out to him for getting a check, the direct deposit this morning. That's awesome.
Yeah, good for him. Sure, why
not? But that's really it going on around the league. As training camps now for everybody rocking and rolling. Again, as I mentioned, we'll have the Hall of Fame game on Thursday. We'll be back on Friday. We'll be doing Matt. I don't know if you've checked the Beef of the Week sheet yet. I mean, we got a couple of good ones already. But make sure you get those in. For Beef and Bozo of the Week. Make sure you go get that submitted. That'll be linked in the description. I'll put the pinned comment on YouTube that as well until I get a good pinned comment from the video. You know what? Actually, we have to do before we go. I need to read the follow-up comment from what happened on last week's Beef of the Week or Bozo of the Week, excuse me, from our good pal. So we appreciate the follow-up because we did ask for a follow-up and you did give us a follow-up in the comment section of the video. So I do appreciate that. I got to pull it up here. I wasn't ready for this. I also want to give a shout out to a couple people I saw at training camp. Kevin Jones drove all the way from Duquesne, Illinois. You know Duquesne, Illinois.
Sure.
You know where that's at? I don't.
It's in Illinois.
Yeah. But him and the whole fam listen to the pod. got a family, got to be in their family picture. That was kind of sick. Got a shout out to Kevin. But I need to read the comment here. I'm scrolling back here. From Chiefs fan 15-Q8Y. Let's go. Got on Bozo of the Week. Resolution. One of my neighbors would be a great candidate for Beef of the Week for letting her effing dog bark behind the fence of our house all damn day. Was frantically knocking on our front door. She says, "Do you have a son, Weston?" I say, "Yes, I do." She says, "Well, I just saw him walking up the street, and he said he was going to his girlfriend's house." I wake up the wife to watch the two little kids and take off sprinting up the road. Run my fat ass around the neighborhood for a good 10 minutes. Call my wife, and she says she just saw him coming down the road. Once we were back inside, I pulled him to the side, gave him props for going to see his girl, then told him if he ever leaves my house without permission again, he won't be able to sit down for a week. Love the pod. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your submission of Beef of the Week. I am so glad that we got a resolution to that because the first submission was Quentin from Colombia. So shout out Quentin. Thank you for that. Was a bit vague in terms of what the resolution was, and we got it. Saying his 6-year-old left the house without permission to go see his girlfriend. Pozo of the Week. And we know the whole story now.
Now we know.
The loop is closed. There we go. All right. I think it's going to do it for this week's edition of That Football Show. For Matt Verderame, I'm Tucker Franklin. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here. We'll be back on Friday talking some more Chiefs, some more things going on in the NFL as well. Thank you to Ben Holiday, Bald and Bum Bourbon. And make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button so you're not a bozo. And subscribe to become a ball knower. We'll be back on Friday. See you then.